From Stella Creasy on X, horrified to see Hannah Spencer being subjected to this during her maiden speech. Attacking women for what they look like shows you fear what they say, or that they speak without your consent at all. It speaks more to your insecurities than men. Right, you've all seen this, haven't you? Free by the Sea was posting, very critically, to be fair, about Hannah because she rocked up in Parliament looking like she was a children's TV presenter. Or as Langua said, dressed like Barney the dinosaur. There we go. He said it's about having standards, especially in public life. And it is. He also pointed out that all the men wear a suit, but somehow Hannah Spencer can come along dressed as Barney, and that's okay. Very true as well, very true. Ultimately, it's, as you would expect in this day and age, the exact opposite of the truth. They say that women get treated unduly harshly, but in every aspect of life in 2026, they get treated with kid gloves. They get half the sentence that a man does for the same crime. And really, really stupid ones like Diane Abacus or Angela Rayner and now Hannah Spencer get to sit in Parliament. There's plenty of thick men, but I think if you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, it's the women, isn't it? Hannah is an absolute plank. Anyway, I'm going to play you her maiden speech so you understand why there was such a negative response to it, because it was more of this, the exact inverse of the truth. And she's playing the victim 47 years after we had a female Prime Minister. You couldn't make it up, so let's have a watch, shall we? If nothing else, it'll give us a good old chuckle. Right, let's watch a maiden speech. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Fake history from... Well, it's nice to know she started strongly. She started as she means to go on with the Green Party, which is full-blown propaganda. Absolute bollocks from start to finish. I won't play the whole thing. I think a minute and a half will knock me sick, so I'll probably have to call it there. But just check this out, and I'll attempt not to interject too frequently, all right?
The constituency that elected me is the 15th most deprived constituency in the country. It has suffered decades of neglect and broken promises. And we see this every day right in front of us. The litter, the fly tipping, the state of housing, the struggle for a job that you can build a life on, the filthy, polluted air and the reduced life chances, the sheer unfairness of it all. And my constituency has been hit hard by the ongoing cost of living crisis. And now none of this is fair, none of this is right, and none of it happens by accident.
Yeah, not by accident. Have you noticed how she didn't talk about who was doing the majority of the fly tipping? Because again, who's likely to do it? English kids born and raised in England, watching Sesame Street and being taught how to behave civilised like, or blokes from countries where routinely shitting in the streets, it is not just tolerated, it's preferable. It's preferenced. They mock us. You've all seen these viral videos where they go, oh, they poo in the house near where they eat. Haha, lol. As if you having a shite and then washing your hands afterwards is a stupid thing to do. What you should be doing is snapping off a foot of brown cable in your back garden. Yeah, Dev, well sensible that. Just nip into an alley and shit amongst the rats. You remember this one, don't you? The 2-story high canyon of shite in Oxford. Who do you think's doing this? People who have always had, for generations, proper waste disposal via the medium of putting your bin in front of your house and the men take it for you every week. Or people who hail from nations where doing that is considered normal. She's not wrong. There is shit all over where she lives. But I'd argue it's not coincidental that where she lives is 40% snack bar enthusiasts from a certain subcontinent where if women go for a walk and accidentally flash their ankles, they get their heads caved in with a brick. I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
So I very much share my predecessor's strong commitment to tackling health inequalities and putting local people and all of our communities at the heart of decision making. That's how we begin to turn things around, to give people agency and a genuine chance of a better today and a better tomorrow. And to the girls who I saw photos of, who went to school on International Women's Day dressed as Hannah the plumber in their overalls, spanners, and trademark hair. To the 10-year-old boy at Hideout who...
So it's just puerile shite, isn't it? Drivel. Narcissistic drivel. Yeah, the girls dress up as Hannah the plumber. There was a time recently, you might remember this, when every single major position of authority in the UK was held by a woman. We had Margaret Thatcher running the country 47 years ago, and we had Amber Rudd as the Home Secretary, Sturgeon was the PM in Scotland, May was the PM in England, Lizzie was sat on the throne, and they'll turn round. It's crazy. They'll turn around as if it's never happened. It's mental, the level of full-blown propaganda and cognitive dissonance that these people can practice. It's kind of like how in the United States, despite the fact we had a black president for 2 terms, they turn around in 2026 and say, oh, when are black people going to get an equal bite of the cherry? It's like, so you just memory hold the entirety of Obama's presidency. Like, that never happened. I know these people know nothing about history, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad when an MP like Hannah is labouring under the delusion that we didn't have a female monarch sat on the throne for 140 years out the last 200. And we haven't had multiple female prime ministers. Like, what planet are they living on, these people?
Who rock climbed an incredibly high wall with me and who saw me suddenly become very terrified of how far up I was, and who said to me, don't ever give up. And if it's scary looking down, then just look at what's in front of you. To the women in my life who've had my back, who fought for equality along...
Fought for equality? Again, 47 years after the Iron Lady was running the country for nearly a decade. She's LARPing like she's living in Egypt in the 18th century. It's unbelievable.
...beside me. And to the men that I work with, especially the lads on my plastering course who dealt with my newfound spotlight in the middle of our training very well. But those men who will suffer the effects of this unequal society through their mental health. To the veterans I know who were willing to risk everything and come home and find that society was turning its back on them.
Turning its back on them for who? Who's our society throwing resources at now? It's not a black hole. They weren't looking after the veterans and then they just stopped. No, they redirected all the money. And all the money is now going to, you guessed it, Pakistanis, Indians and Ugandans. It's really not that complicated, is it? The money didn't disappear. It just got funneled somewhere else.
To everyone who will have nowhere to sleep tonight or will barely exist in a cold, damp and insecure home. To my trans siblings who get blamed for everything.
Trans siblings who get blamed for everything? What does that mean? What does that mean? They get blamed for what they do, right? If you're in the women's toilets and all of a sudden there's a woman in a frock who's got 10 inches on the slack and the tip of her bell end sticking out from the bottom of her dress, and it's alarming the women and the children present, yeah, they'll get the trans will get the blame for that, yeah. But I don't think anyone's blaming them for, I don't know, suicide bombings. No, that's a different group. They get the blame for that. And that group doesn't like the trans group very much, do they? Seems like people like you and I are not the ones that are giving them the most shit, are we?
To the Muslims everywhere.
Oh, here we go. Now she's on about the snack bars.
Who are constantly and often violently scapegoated. To the disabled people.
Scapegoated. Who blew up all the buses and the trains? Who sawed Lee Rigby's head off? Who killed Emily Jones? Who bombed the Manchester Evening News Arena? Who stabbed people in the face at Borough Market? Who ploughed into a crowd of women and kids on London Bridge? Who was it? Was it the Quakers? Was it the Sikhs, the Hindus, the Christians, the LGBT group? No, it wasn't. So if they're the ones doing it all, it's not really scapegoating, is it? No, it's not. If you definitely did all of that stuff, then you're not a scapegoat. You did it. Who's responsible for 90% of the grooming gangs in the UK? That's right. It's the scapegoated community.
People who can't access the world because of structure.
The disabled people who can't access the world. If there's one country in the world that bends over backwards and ploughs money into looking after people that were unlucky enough to be born with no legs, or people who have both legs but simply tell the government, I feel a bit sad. Yeah, well, they're all disabled as well, aren't they? Not only do we look after the disabled and put far more effort into looking after the disabled than anywhere else, we suddenly ring fence 2 million people who've got nothing physically wrong with them and say, you're all disabled as well, which is why it's called Long Island. Don't tell me we don't look after the disabled when we look after all the disabled and an extra couple of million people who wish they were disabled because they don't want to have to work for a living.
Structural inequality that is completely fixable. To the people of colour who have to work harder at everything.
Work harder at everything. Work harder at everything. Shall I pull them numbers out again that you're all sick of seeing? Yeah, there they are. So only 18% of white British kids on free school meals, so the poorest kids in the country, get 5 GCSEs. But all the black and brown kids do much better, don't they? And for university entry, which is really where the rubber hits the road, because that's when the real money starts to get involved, only 16% of white British pupils on free school meals get to go to university. Yeah. And if you make it only men, it's probably about 5% of them. But if you're lucky enough to be black African or Bangladeshi, well, 60% of them get to go to university. Weird, yeah. So 5 or 6% of white lads get to go to uni if they're poor, but 60% of poor black lads get to go to university. Doesn't sound like they're having the hardest time, does it? Doesn't sound like they're making them work twice as hard as everybody else. It sounds a bit like they're getting money hand over fist gifted to them by a state that is overtly hostile to people that look like me. Seems like, as always, every single thing the establishment tell you is the exact opposite of the truth. It's not just wrong, it's an inversion of the truth. So yeah, 5 or 6% of white lads who are poor get to go to higher education, but 60% of black Africans do. Tell me again that they're putting all the effort in, Hannah. Anyway, mercifully, she's nearly finished. This is just a smorgasbord of every single communist talking point from the last 10 years. This shit, isn't it?
I don't always get it. I won't say I always understand it. But what I do know is what it feels like to be looked down on, to be let down and left behind.
And how it is to be looked down on. Yeah, a blonde white woman. The most spoiled, overprivileged, zero accountability, pampered demographic in the world. In the world, by far. Nice one.
To be less worthy because of something about me. And our struggles may be different, but our humanity is the same. We always stick together. We always fight for each other. And that is what I want us to take forward from International Women's Day, and to do that every single day.
And then back to International Women. What a load of shit. And then, yeah, she did some lengthy screed about Emmeline Pankhurst and Hannah Mitchell and Annie Kenny. Loads of women, as if Margaret Thatcher didn't exist and Theresa May didn't exist and Nicola Sturgeon wasn't a thing and Amber Rudd wasn't a thing. No. We've got to go all the way back to Florence Nightingale, because apparently birds haven't had it all their own way for the last 50 years. Do me a favour, Hannah, you absolute log. And there we have it. I tweeted about it. Playing the victim 47 years after Thatcher is genuinely preposterous. Birds running everything only a few short years ago. The first, second, third and fourth most powerful positions in the UK were all simultaneously held by women, but Hannah Spencer is talking like it's 1723 and someone's just slapped her ass and told her to put the kettle on. It's preposterous state of affairs. But when has the truth got in the way of a good story? When gap-toothed sloth communist is involved? Anyway, let me know what you think. It's a preposterous state of affairs. As I keep saying, we were better off when 50 rich families ran everything. We were. We've had our chance, the working in the middle classes. We've had our chance to run things, and this is what we've done. We've opted for people like that and Angela Rayner. You will never convince me that we were better off when Jacob Rees-Mogg and the like were in charge of everything, because this is what we've got now. That thing, the Ginger Growler and Lambtron. Oh yeah, I owe you a couple from yesterday, don't I? And Gordon Brown.
Now, evidently my cycloptic colleague informs me that can't be done.
And Shabana Mahmood.
Some more wine, you brown-skinned slut.
Yeah, bring back the Aldrich white men, please. All is forgiven. All is forgiven. It's hard for working class scum like me to admit it, but it was much, much better when the landed gentry were pulling all the strings. Anyway, that's just my opinion. If you disagree and you think Hannah Spencer, Angela Rayner, and Lambtron and the like are a testament to British ingenuity, please let me know in the comments so I can put you on my list. Yeah, that's the list of the first people to be committed to the mental institute the second we get a government that's sane running the show. All right, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gents. Have a good weekend. See you soon. Toodle pip. Cheers.